Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Today in this video I would like to discuss on the process of drug discovery. Process of drug discovery is mainly divided into two parts, namely preclinical trial, which is followed by clinical trial. In the phase of preclinical trial there are mainly three types of test. They are in vitro test, in vivo test and ex vivo test. What is in vitro test? In vitro test, that means in vitro, in means inside and vitro means, vitro the word comes from vitreous, that means glass apparatus. So in vitro test is basically performed on glass apparatus in the laboratory in the non-living system. Then in vivo test. In vivo test, in means inside and vivo means the living system. That means in vivo test is performed inside the living organism or living system like animal like rat, mice, other higher animal, dog, cat or monkey can be taken in this study. Next is ex vivo test. In case of ex vivo test, the ex means outside and vivo means living system. That means ex vivo test is performed on the living system, but the system is outside the body. How it is possible? Just take a organ outside the body and maintain its living condition, so that you can perform the test in which the organ will behave as like inside of the living system. Next I will discuss about the clinical trial. Clinical trial is performed to check the scientific validity, efficacy and safety of the drug on the human beings. So here in case of preclinical trial it is performed other than human. Okay, so in case of clinical trial it is performed on the human being. So first the phases of clinical trial are 5. It starts from phase 0 to phase 4. So it starts with phase 0, in which healthy human volunteers are taken. The number of healthy human volunteers are 10 to 15, and here the pharmacokinetic as well as pharmacodynamic activity is tested. What do you mean by pharmacokinetic activity? It means four different that is absorption, distribution, metabolism and excretion in the human being, the human body. That means ADME study. Then pharmacodynamic study, which means the checking the activity of the drug molecule inside the body, how it acts on the body, that is pharmacodynamic study. Then it starts with phase 1 study, in which the number of volunteers are from 20 to 100, and here all the volunteers are healthy human volunteers. That means they are free from any disease. So in this test, first of all it is tested whether the drugs are safe or not. Before going to check the efficacy, first it is required to check whether the drug is safe or not. That means whether it causes any kind of organ damage or any side effect. That is tested in the phase 1 trial. Next, phase 2 clinical trial. In this stage, in this test, healthy not healthy human volunteer, disease patients are taken. Okay, so for a particular disease you are going for testing. So in this case, that kind of disease should be present in that person. Okay, so in this clinical trial mainly 100 to 300 patients are taken, and it is divided into two parts. First one, it will check the safety of the medication, and second one, it will check the proof. It will check the proof of the efficacy of the medication. Then phase 3 clinical trial. It is a broad, very broad kind of clinical trial. That means the number of patients is much more, and it is 1000 to 3000. Now here the reproducibility of the efficacy is checked mainly, and here if it is passed that the drug claiming for a particular therapeutic efficacy, if it is observed that it passes phase 3 clinical trial, then only there is a newer drug application it is to be made, and after that the drug will be marketed. And when it will come to the market, it is clinical trial is not ended. Okay, so later on phase 4 clinical trial will be continued to check the any major side effect which may be observed after a long period of use which may not be observed in phase 1, phase 2 or phase 3 clinical trial. So phase 4 clinical trial is a continuous process, and if it has been found that any major toxic effect or side effect observed after marketing the drug, then the drug may be banned. That is called post-marketing surveillance. So in this phase 4 clinical trial or post-marketing surveillance, if it is found that drug is having major side effect or organ damage, then it can also be banned. So these are 4 phases of clinical trial, in which phase 1 clinical trial may take 6 months to 1 year, and the cost of this clinical trial is almost 10 to 50 crores. Okay, then phase 2 clinical trial, it takes almost 1 to 3 years, and cost of this trial is 50 to 100 crores. Next, phase 3 clinical trial is the major or broad clinical trial. The cost of this trial is much more. Here maybe 100 to 400 crores Indian rupees may be required, and the duration of the trial is much more. Here it is 2 to 3 years. So total duration of clinical trial for discovery a new drug from preclinical trial, it takes 1 to 3 years, and for clinical trial it may take 6 to 7 years. So total period of drug discovery is huge, and it is almost 10 to 12 years. Okay, so now in case of India, if you want to perform clinical trial, the authority or company who are conducting this one, they have to take permission from the authority. So that is CDSCO, that is Central Drug Standard Control Organization, or ICMR is also involved. But in case of other country like USA, there is the body or regulatory body which is called USFDA, that is United States Food and Drug Administration Authority. So this is all about clinical trial, and there are some terms like CRO. What is CRO? CRO is Contract Research Organization, which actually involved to perform a part of clinical trial, and they basically do this research work by taking some amount of remuneration for this study conducting. Okay, thank you. If you are having any question, please feel free to ask. Thank you very much for your patience hearing. Thank you very much.